The LSU Tigers have won their 8th Men's College World Series title in school history, the second most in Division I behind the University of Southern California. But that's not the story of the final game yesterday. Let's talk about it. So, as I said, LSU won their 8th Men's College World Series title, second only behind USC for the most titles in college baseball history. But in Game 2 of the best of 3 final against Coastal Carolina, a weird incident in the first inning took precedence. Coastal Carolina head coach Kevin Schnall was ejected in the first inning of the pivotal Game 2 of the College World Series. It was a must-win game for Coastal Carolina, but Schnull found himself ejected early on. This was due to a weird incident, and I'll read the full statement that he had in the post-game press conference in a minute. He thought he heard a warning from the umpire. He came out to ask what that warning was. The umpire ejected him from the game for arguing balls and strikes, and through the course of this situation, another umpire tripped and fell, and it was a whole disaster that Schnull himself called embarrassing. This is the full statement that he had to say, or at least most of the statement that he had to say in the post-game press conference after LSU won the game, won the title, and Coastal Carolina thought that it was distracted from their game that they were going to play because they played it without their head coach. This is what he had to say. Schnall said that he vaguely heard a warning, which prompted him to emerge from the dugout to seek clarification on why his team was being warned. As a head coach, I think it's your right to get an explanation as to why you got warned, Schnall said. I'm 48 years old. I shouldn't be getting shooed by another grown man. So when I come out to ask what the warning is, a grown man shooed me. So at that point, I can now hear him say, that's a warning issued for arguing balls and strikes. At that point, I said, because you missed 3. Then I was ejected. If that warrants an ejection, I'm the first one to stand here like a man and apologize. First base umpire Casey Moser, attempting to de-escalate the situation, got in between an irate Schnull and home plate umpire Campos, but then tumbled to the ground. Coastal Carolina first base coach Matt Schilling, who joined the fray, was also ejected. If you guys watched the video, there was a guy that came in extremely aggressively, tripped over Campos's foot, embarrassed in front of 25,000, immediately goes 2-game suspension, and said bumping the umpire immediately does that. There was no bump. He was embarrassed. This is, of course, alluding to the fact that Schnall received a 2-game suspension. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism. They'll retract it, though, because now it's excessive. And the reason why it's excessive is because I was trying to say I didn't bump him. It is what it is, but if that warranted ejections, man, there would be a lot of ejections. As an umpire, I feel like it's your job to manage the game, the national championship game, with some poise, some calmness, and a little bit of tolerance. This caused quite a stir on social media, and I'm going to do a blog post in a couple days. This got me thinking a lot about, do umpires have too much power across baseball? And I think we all know the answer to that. That's why there's been a lot of pushing for the automatic balls and strikes across all levels of baseball. But this really prompted a question of, do umpires have too much power in Major League Baseball? It's like if they make a wrong call and somebody comes out to question that, they just have the power to throw them out of the game. No accountability for if they made a wrong call or whatever. I'm not going to go into that here. That's what the blog post is going to be for, so keep an eye out on empiresportstalk.com for that in the coming days. But I don't want to get past this video without saying congratulations to the LSU Tigers on capturing their 8th national championship game. It was well deserved. They were the best team in the country. But it does feel a little bit like Coastal Carolina was, I'm not going to say robbed because they were down 1-0 and they lost the game by multiple runs. I'm not going to say robbed of the title, but this ejection happened in the first inning. And as if you've seen the video, and I'll try to put a little bit of footage of the ejection on the video, and then you hear this explanation, it's pretty questionable. It was clear that the first base umpire was not bumped by Kevin Schnall. It was clear that this seemed to be an overreaction if what Schnull says is true and he was just coming out because he thought he heard something and wanted clarification and for that reason was thrown out of the game. I think it's really time to take a look at, do umpires have too much power? But let me know in the comments what you think about this Kevin Schnall, Coastal Carolina ejection situation. Do you agree with the automatic balls and strikes? Is there some other way that you think umpires should be held accountable? Because this kind of unchecked power seems to be getting worse and worse across baseball. Until next time, I'm Janeiro. This is Empire Sports Talk, and I'll see you on the next video.